Hey guys, as you may know, NASCAR is in a decline, and people have talked about it. People have talked about the stuff that needs to be fixed. And today, I'm going to give you my opinion on how we can fix NASCAR. Obviously, I still watch it. I still love the sport to death. I still think it's really cool, and pretty much no matter what they do, I'm always going to watch it, even if they go to hybrid cars, which I'm not gonna like that at first, but it might just be what it is. Which I'll talk more about that later in the video. But first of all, I want to get into the biggest problem that I want them to change ASAP. Like, I literally want them to change this. Like, if they could do it this postseason, that would be really good because they really haven't confirmed this for next year. So, yep, stages. All right. I just don't like the stages. Don't like the idea of having the caution, planned. Don't like it. If honestly they took away the caution, I like it a little bit more. But I mean, it just makes things a little more complicated. And even when people would give or drivers I should say, would get a lap for leading a point for leading a lap or point for leading the most laps. I wouldn't really like that because it just kind of made things more complicated. And then, same thing, with even when they had the Winston format, because it was not 1 point per person, it was 180, then 175, then 170, and then it got more and more different as it went down. I just won 40 points for the winner, 35 for second, 34 for third, 33 for fourth, etc. Most simple, 1 point per person. Really like that rule when they, made it simpler back in 2011, I think. The 1 point per person is really good, I mean, at least that's my opinion on it, And then I didn't like the stages either because, especially the competition caution part, just stages in a way are technically like a competition caution, kind of like what they do whenever there's a rain delay. They throw a caution after 30 laps or 20 or whatever. And then even the trucks had a caution clock where after 20 minutes if there was no caution, the caution would come out. I don't like any of that stuff. And the main reason why I'm not a fan of stages is because of the caution coming out. If we got rid of the caution, I wouldn't mind stages as much. But if so, I would just want NASCAR to get rid of stages as a whole. I think it would be cool to see a constant free race one time. Sure, this guy could just be dominating, but it'd be interesting because if drivers pit early for tires, then maybe you had to make an extra pit stop or just the more strategy involvement, just in case if there wasn't a caution. But always with stages, different things can happen now, and I'm not really a fan of it. Alright, gonna move on to the next thing. And this is the thing I want them to change after stages. If I only had one, I would go with stages, but yep, the package. The package, it's interesting because they definitely did make the intermediates better in terms of what we've seen on our TV. But it's not real racing. It's not real racing if they can just full throttle it out, at least 1.5 miles and etc. It's not real racing, as I say again. It's better than what we got in 2018. That's what, in terms of the excitement and the entertainment. But it is not real racing. We need something more faster cars, I think the 2014 package was great. Seriously, people hate and complain about the Gen 7 all in one. But Gen 6 all in one. But the 2014, it was spectacular. Seriously, I don't really know why they changed it. According to what I heard, it's due to speeds. But still, let's just make the races shorter then. And I'll talk more about that later. And another section. I'll obviously, the package. I'm gonna move on to about short tracks and road courses. So obviously, looks like they are removing the spoiler for short tracks and road courses next year, which that's good. Really did hurt short tracks and road courses. Both Martinsville races got led over 400 laps for each. Pretty bad for Martinsville. Richmond, I mean, you couldn't pass there. I still feel like was the same in terms of entertainment. Obviously, that might be because of the higher baking, But I don't know. And the road courses, Chase Elliott at Watkins Glen led like 84 out of 90 laps. I mean that's ridiculous. I mean, come on. I mean, you really can't pass what the short tracks and the road courses does. So we see ISM in the fall. Denny Hamlin dominated. You couldn't pass him. You couldn't. I mean, like, he was unstoppable with the Derby air. All that stuff. It's really not good for the sport. I'm glad it sounds like they're at least making 2020 a little bit better in some ways on what we see for the short tracks and road courses. So that's good. Now, I'm going to move on to this next one, and that is the playoffs. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I do not mind the playoff format at all, except maybe, letting, getting less drivers in it. And my idea about getting the less drivers in it is like, we take 12 instead of 16. Because here's the thing. There are 5 competitive teams in NASCAR that you can see win at basically any track. That is Chip Ganassi Racing, Penske Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, or Penske Racing, not Penske Motorsports. So Chip Ganassi Racing, Penske Racing, Joe Gibbs Racing, Hendrick Motorsports, and Stewart-Haas Racing. Each Hendrick, Joe Gibbs, and Stewart-Haas, they all have 4 cars. Penske has 3. Chip Ganassi has 2. Right now we're living in a format with 16 drivers making the playoffs. With all 5 of those teams' cars combined, that's 17 cars. So we can basically predict almost entire playoffs just off of competitiveness of teams and not. We really can't, because who would that one driver be out? Well, next year it's probably going to be Cole Custer, because rookies like hardly ever make the playoffs. The last rookie to make the playoffs, from what I've noted, at least in this format, was Chase Elliott, and that was back in 2016. 2016. That was a long time ago. I forgot if I think Ryan Blaney was a rookie in 2016, but if he was a rookie in 2017, then yeah, I guess he was the exception. And he was actually driving for Wood Brothers Racing. The interesting thing is, can we, with all the alliances, we could see like Levi, or maybe go fast in the playoffs. It all depends on how strong their alliances are. And then with Wood Brothers, if Matt DiVincenzo's gonna be in that car, since Ryan Blaney was in that car, I can easily probably see Matt making it on points, or even winning at Bristol. So yes, we can't predict the playoffs with how many drivers can make it, but there's somebody can spoil the party, like maybe Chris Buescher. Ryan Newman did it last year, but you finished worse than 25th the whole year from what I've noted. Now that's a consistency on a whole nother level. Not even guys like Kyle Busch or Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick have done that. Anyhow, back with the real issue about the playoffs. When you lower the amount of drivers, we can be more on the edge of our seat, seeing if guys like, could Kyle Larson miss the playoffs? Could William Byron miss the playoffs? Drivers more competitive like that, and maybe you make the playoff driver count lower, because last year we had 31 drivers running full time, 31 drivers had a chance of making the playoffs. 31. I mean, so that means more than half of the field made the playoffs, which, I mean, is kind of silly, in my opinion. This year, I think we're going to have more full-time drivers running for points between Rick Ware and Spire Motorsports, maybe, and then the 15 car, whoever, owns that team. I don't even know, to be honest. So, yeah, we could definitely lower the playoff count. And now on the next issue. Even though I do like the playoff format a lot, if a lot of fans do not like it, then there's no reason why we should have it. It should be what the majority of fans of what they want, which the majority of fans are saying they want the Winston format. However, I can almost guarantee you that at least probably about half of them will complain mid-season, Kyle Busch is running away with it, or maybe it's Denny Hamlin next year, or whoever, Kevin, Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., probably not, he hasn't, because of the new crew chief. Maybe Chase Elliott. I mean, there's gonna be people who say they want that format back, but whenever we do get it back, if we do, oh, hold on, they're gonna complain about it, because, to be honest, I don't know what's so exciting about seeing champion almost crowned mid-season, or champion, like, the champion, they know they're winning the championship, like, 4 races before the end of the season, or it's almost guaranteed, like, way before, I mean, that's not very fun. I mean, why would you even watch those last races then, And even with the chase, that's another reason why I didn't like it as much. You could almost, it's like, you almost know it's going to win the championship going to Homestead. But people don't like the playoff format either, so I think a good solution is, and I've seen a couple people talk about this in comment sections of videos, have 10 drivers, after the first 5 races of the playoffs, have 5 of them eliminated. I think that's a pretty good idea. They will still reset to their playoff points, and they'll still be much closer. I think that might be what NASCAR could really try. I think that'd be really good. I think it'll make almost everyone happy, and that's what we need, because we want whatever the fans want, the majority of fans. I want them to stick with the playoffs format, what they have right now. I actually really do, except, maybe lower the amount of drivers getting in it. But if a lot of fans don't like it, then why do we have it, Alright, so I'm going to move on to the next issue, which, it's mainly just a bunch of, minor issues, like other stuff. First, I'm going to start off with, broadcasting and stuff. Like NBC, I watch an NBC race, and there's like all these commercials. I mean, there's like commercials everywhere. And, I feel like almost every race I watch, there's more and more commercials every time. But, that's upsetting to a NASCAR fan because, I mean, like all these commercials, just why? Because then it makes us want to go do other stuff, and then we come back 5 minutes later, another commercial break, especially on NBC. Fox, I don't think they had as many commercials, and then, the commentators, like, we need Alan Bestwick back, we need him back, he was so good, and ESPN wish they would come back with Alan Bestwick and, like, Del Jarrett too. I mean, they're like the dream team in terms of NASCAR commentators. They're like the dream team to me. And the, problem is ESPN is pretty much done with motorsports for now, it sounds like. Maybe they'll come back in 2025, and which we might need them because our Fox and NBC gonna renew. I mean, chances are if we're only gonna have one TV channel, they are not gonna do the whole season, So, I mean, in like 2025, we might not even see every single National Series race on TV, and, that's not good. I mean, that's just gonna make NASCAR even worse, so, and that's why NASCAR kind of needs to try to revive itself before then, so we can get, TV channels. And also another thing is more and more races are on cable. Less and less are on local channels. That's obviously part of the ratings and stuff like that too. And like other problems with the sport are how long the races can be. Now, honestly, I don't really have a problem with, the races being super long, but if we are going to get probably the best or a really good package, what involves a lot of horsepower, and we don't want to burn all that fuel, then that's when we shorten the races. And it sounds like they are going to shorten the races, which we might get some new tracks in 2021 to the Gen 7. There's talk that the cars are going to be faster. We're just going to have to see how that's all going to work out. And, hopefully NASCAR will notice all this stuff, And that's pretty much it on the things to fix NASCAR. Please let me know in the comments below. Please tell me if I forgot something, because I'm really curious to hear what y'all guys think about the sport and what we can do to fix it, So, see y'all guys later. Don't forget to comment below on what you thought.